We'll begin this morning with the race to extend high-speed internet service to every address, a problem laid bare during the COVID pandemic. This week, pre-construction grants announced for 4 rural areas, with much more to come. The head of Vermont's Broadband Board is here, but first, a little background from Jack Thurston.
In Vermont's more rural areas, it's an all-too-common complaint.
I live in a communications dead zone.
Sean Caio lives in a Franklin County town close to Canada. He knows the frustrations of slow dial-up internet.
I couldn't telework or remote work because my internet connection at home really couldn't support it. I would have to drive hard drives back and forth to Burlington with work because I could not send files. It created a problem.
Monday, a step toward fixing that.
Our goal is to start construction, and we will start construction next summer.
The Vermont Community Broadband Board awarding nearly $10 million in pre-construction grants to regional districts planning how to build out high-speed service to every last property on every last dirt road. Tens of thousands of addresses here are considered underserved or even unserved, but Vermont's large pot of federal pandemic recovery money, with more expected from the infrastructure bill making its way through Congress, has funds set aside for closing the state's digital divide. The governor and legislature see doing so as key to long-term economic growth.
We know people want to come here. They want to enjoy everything that Vermont has to offer. But without good broadband or enough housing, we can't compete.
Without this grant, the process would probably take 10 years.
Jeremy Hansen's with the district working on getting universal high-speed service to central Vermont. He often hears from real estate agents about listings where there's disappointing connections.
I know it's kept people away. I mean, I've heard from people that have asked us, is there service here? And I tell them, not really at the moment. They say, okay, thanks. And we never hear from them again.
The target now is to get 100% of Vermont homes and businesses connected to high-speed service in 5 years. The Broadband Board says it is expecting some challenges sourcing materials and finding labor, but tells us it's working its way around those challenges. In Montpelier, Jack Thurston, NBC5 News.
Christine Hallquist, welcome to NBC5 In Depth. Happy to have you.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Big announcement this week. The first big grants going out the door to rural CUDs. Please, off the top, remind us, these communication union districts are set up to do what?
The communication districts are set up in order to get every Vermonter, every address in Vermont connected to fiber optic broadband. And as of today, there's over 200 of our 251 towns are part of those communication union districts. So
the first 4, and I gather they were chosen because they were the first to apply, and will receive about $10 million. And there's a lot more money where that came from, and you anticipate announcements every couple of weeks, I understand. But these first 4, Maple Broadband, Central Vermont Fiber, Deerfield Valley Fiber, and Northwest Communications Union District, in 4 corners of our state, are going to get some funding for pre-construction, which I guess it involves engineering and telephone pole surveys, which pole surveys are exactly what they sound like?
Well, yeah, the pole surveys are really, a lot of the, Vermont has already had pole surveys, but there are some of the municipalities and locales that have not. But as a majority, Vermont's kind of lucky because our utilities, the 2 big ones, VEC and Green Mountain Power, have already surveyed their poles. But yes, it is for design engineering. Design engineering in this, network design is really a large amount of work from an engineering standpoint. And it's relatively expensive.
So once you have the engineering determined, construction on actual connections, which is it exclusively fiber?
Yes, we're exclusively focused on fiber. Fiber is actually the lowest cost and the best performing broadband infrastructure out there. And, if you look at the Vermont Telecommunications Plan, you'll see a lot of charts in there that just show how much more expensive these other solutions are over the long term.
So fiber has, I guess, technically almost unlimited speed capacity. What do you think that those Vermonters who now struggle without either any broadband or poor or spotty broadband are going to see, and when?
Well, you know, like myself, sitting here in Wolcott, you know, I've got all kinds of done all kinds of engineering to get good signals, but you know, it really is put together bubble gum and duct tape to make this happen. But most Vermonters can't do what we're doing right now in rural Vermont. What they'll experience is probably equivalent to what happened when we connected people with electricity back in the 30s, you know, in the 50s, all the way through the 50s in Vermont. But the point is, it's going to be a dramatic change for folks, and it enables us to get connected to the world today in ways that really, you know, if you look at across the world, only Hong Kong has achieved this level of connection. So Vermont will move from being back of the pack, 25th or 26th in the country, where we're 10th in the world, to being number one. It'll be quite a change. But when will it happen? Well, we're going to, you know, it's like anything else. We'll get a lot of Vermonters connected in the first couple of years, but that last address will be probably 5 years out or longer.
You've estimated at the news conference the other day there were, I think, 62,000 Vermont addresses that have no reasonable internet connection.
Yeah, and we think that number's higher. That's probably a conservative number. But, you know, my guess is it's probably closer to 100,000 right now.
Now, will the first four that you announced grant funding for in the north and the south and the islands, Northeast Kingdom, are they going to have a leg up on the other CUDs in terms of getting the first people connected?
Well, you know, everybody's in a variety of different places. I wouldn't say they would have a leg up, because I have a feeling some of these other CUDs are going to catch up really fast. You know, our goal is really to get everybody to the same point as quickly as possible. That's what we're working on right now.
All right. We have a labor shortage. I mean, everybody's hiring. How are the contractors who would actually be charged with building out this new system and stringing cable on poles, which you've said could begin next year in some areas, how is the national labor squeeze likely to impact that timetable?
That's a very important constraint that we're focusing on. It's actually the most difficult constraint. We anticipate material and labor shortages. Well, the material shortages you can solve which we're doing by pre-purchasing a bunch of material to cover for the lead times. And so we think we've got that one nailed. The labor shortage is a difficult one. And we're working with the Department of Labor, the Agency of Commerce and Community Development, as well as the state college system, to develop programs to really grow Vermonters. There's kind of two answers to this. One is, you know, on the negative side, yes, we anticipate some serious labor shortages. On the positive side, we can create career paths for people in Vermont that, you know, can go into the whole IT field and be, you know, move people from low income to moderate and high income wage earners over time. So it really does create opportunity for Vermonters.
Well-paying jobs. What about affordability? We've heard some concern about this, that in rural areas right now where, you know, your option is satellite or something and it's $200 a month, what can any predictions about what a fiber connection is going to cost?
Yeah, we're targeting, so just a great example is where I'm sitting now. I'm probably spending close to $200 a month to get this connection we have with all the different various connections I have. The average Vermonter can't afford that. So what we're targeting is we want to get our entry point as close to $50 as possible, if not lower. And the good news is the grants help us to get there. You know, if you look at trying to serve rural Vermont without any grant funding, well, you'd probably have to charge $200 to $300 a month, for those connections. But with the grant funding, you know, we estimate it's going to be about $500 million. And if we have $350 million in grant funding, that allows us to drive that entry cost way down. So the first and most important thing we can do, and which we're doing right now, is focusing on building this network as low cost as possible. So so that financing charge, like your mortgage, is going to be as low as possible. That way we can charge as low as possible.
Well, and there is more money in this infrastructure deal that's pending in Congress. I got a half a minute. Do you need anything from the legislature this winter?
No, you know what I think the legislature needs to focus on? They need to focus on the social impact of these changes. If you think about Vermont becoming an even more attractive place to live for high intellectual margin businesses, that's going to really drive an affordability crisis for housing, as well as taking our current housing problem and exacerbating it further. That's what I believe the legislature needs to focus on. We've got the technology, we've got the money, we're going to do this. Now let's focus on the social impacts.
Exciting time. Christine Hallquist, Executive Director of the Vermont Community Broadband Board. Thanks for being with us here on NBC5 In Depth.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.